Hey everybody, this is Doug with Artfully Rogue, and as you can see, I'm not in my shop. I'm actually in New Canaan, Connecticut, helping a friend out with her house. Her and her husband moved in a few years ago, and I came out last year to help them, and at that point, they had asked if I could come back to help rebuild their deck, do some kitchen floor stuff. So I arrived here about a week ago, and we were going over the list of things that she would like me to do. One of those things was to build a coffee table out of some old wood that she has. Well, that's kind of right down my alley. That's the kind of stuff I do in my shop. But you got to check this out. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, I'm recreating what I saw. As I was coming down into their basement, she pointed out these two pieces of wood. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. I can do something with this. It looks pretty old. But check this out. Okay, so I brought them upstairs so I can have some better lighting. Now, what she told me was that this was an old desktop from some school. Now, as you look closer, there are all kind of cool carvings in here. Remember when you were in school and you used to carve into the desk or write into the desk? That's where they used to have the inkwell. So obviously my first question is like, well, how old are these things? And so we started looking onto the top of the desk to see if we can get any clues. Check this out. So this was the first date that I found, 1776. Now I'm guessing because that is a historic date, I would have to like bet towards that is just something that they were learning at the time. However, if you shift over, there's a 1 and an 8 and a 7 and a 5. So 1875. That's a possibility. And the reason I think that that's possible, because if I go down here, there's another date, 1876. So consecutive years means that maybe the class of 1875 carved that, and the class of 1876 carved this. But then here on the other side is 1874. Again, we're going consecutive years, so my guess is that this desktop is from like the 1870 area. Okay, so needless to say, this is an old desktop. Now, I'm gonna turn it into a coffee table. I don't want to mess with it too much, but as you can see, it's in two pieces, so first we're gonna have to bond it together. Now, because I'm in New Canaan, I'm not at my shop, I didn't bring any of my wood tools. I did bring my biscuit joiner, so that's going to help out. I do think I have some tie-down straps in my truck that we could try to press this thing together. I'm also going to make some hairpin legs, which I don't have my bender that's in my shop, but we're going to have to get a little creative. That's what we do, right? We're makers. Let's do this. Okay, first, let's put this sucker together. Alright, so like I mentioned, I don't have any clamps, but I do have some tie-down straps that I use for my truck. So, we're going to see if we can make that work. I don't see why it shouldn't. I've seen straps used before when making frames. Just have to be careful that the wood does not want to bow or bend. So, in order to fix that, I'm going to use some pieces of wood from a deck that I just tore apart. Alright, let's get the glue. Okay, so this is where you'd want to insert your sexy glue shots. You know, some slow motion, inserting the biscuits, you know, perfect editing kind of stuff. Yeah, here's the deal. I don't have the time for that right now. I'm on a bit of a schedule. I've got some other things that I've got to get doing. And I've only got a couple more days here before I go. I gotta head up to Boston. I've got some doors that I have to deliver to a client that got lucky and I didn't have to ship them. And then from there, I have to go up to Yarmouth, Maine to go meet with a potential client. And said she's got a couple of acres and a bunch of old cars she wants me to make a sculpture out of. So I figured, oh, that could be fun. And then, once I'm done there, I start that trip back to Phoenix. I've got to be back there, because just because I'm out here traveling doesn't mean that I'm not still getting work at the shop. I actually have a desk and a water feature that I have to get done in about a week of returning, because I'm going out to San Diego within a week and I'm doing a remodel for a friend out there. As you notice, I like to travel, and unlike a lot of people, they do vacations and they go places that are kind of fun. Now I do that also, but I enjoy the work travel thing, you know, kind of work and travel at the same time. And when I do that, I tend to do a lot more home repair type stuff, just because it's a lot easier than building desks and doors, and I get a break in the shop and you know, just do something different. And it also helps me to really respect the fact that I have a shop, and that I enjoy being there and I enjoy creating. And but I like the travel scene. I like to get out. I like to check out different places. And because it's not like I'm making bank, you know, at my... Oh yeah, I think that should work out nice. Except for the fact that just broke. As my father-in-law used to say, who's from South Africa, Boer maak 'n plan. Farmer makes a plan. So I gotta make a plan. Hang on. Okay, we're back in action. Basically just tied it in a knot. All right. Oh yeah, nice scene. Okay, and the boards underneath there definitely keep it nice and straight. So we're gonna let this sit. We're gonna go try to make some hairpin legs without my bender. Okay, so I got some 3/8 rod. I got a 1/2 inch pipe because you need some leverage to make these things bend nicely. And I'm gonna use the lumber rack on my truck. Not too bad. 3 more to go. Okay, we got 4 hairpin legs. Now, we gotta weld them on some brackets. All right, we're gonna see if we can make these work. They're a bit smaller than what I would probably normally use, but they're handy, they were accessible, and they'll weld on, so let's do that. Okay, so at first thought, I thought maybe I could use these. They're a little small, and once I got the hairpin legs in place, well, you can see they're like just, well, they're not gonna fit. I could close the legs in a little bit, but then the look is off. So if I'm gonna be welding, I might as well just go get some 1-inch flat stock from Home Depot and just make my own brackets. So let's get rid of those. Okay, so I'm going to use 1.25" flat stock that I picked up at Home Depot. And yeah, I'm actually going to try the Paul Jackman method. Here we go. All right, well that seemed to work. Let's try that again. Wow, I kind of like this method. Thanks, Paul. All right, so I went ahead and drilled 3 holes in these brackets. I didn't think you'd want to see me drill holes. They're just holes in brackets. Okay, so let me show you what happened. So all of a sudden, my wire stopped feeding. Yeah, look at that bird's nest. I've had that little welder for over 20 years, or maybe close to 20 years. And that is like the second time that has ever happened. All right, black paint, go do your thing. Come on, you got 3 more. Okay, cool. Legs are painted black. Time to put them on the table. Okay, let's get these legs on. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos. I know that there's thousands and thousands of videos out there that you could watch, and I am so glad that you took the time to watch one of mine. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you have a comment, please leave those below. I try to answer every comment that I receive. And if you haven't already subscribed, then please do so. I've got some really fun projects coming up, especially the bus. When I get back into Phoenix, I'm going to start tackling the school bus, mobile, workshop type space. So, see you in the next video.